One air filter, oh, it feels so good compared to the original one. And the other element assembly air filter, as Kawasaki calls it, and yeah, it makes sense. Radiator cap, or as Kawasaki calls it, cap assembly pressure. Sealed bearings, bearing ball. According to Kawasaki, unsealed bearings, still bearing ball, apparently. And then there's this rubber thing Kawasaki calls damper change pedal. Me, I call it a piece of rubber that broke the budget. Oh, in the bag? Free, sort of. Time to take on today's greatest challenge, installing the radiator cap. They say start small, I say start easy, and that's just how I roll. Moving right along, air filters. I don't know why, but that felt satisfying. These air filters have an oil coating, much like washable filters from other manufacturers. However, the filters on my other bikes are made out of paper. I wonder if these are washable.
Hey there, awesome people. If you love this video, or even if you didn't, give it a thumbs up so we know you're still with us. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button so we can spam your inbox with more amazing content. Oh, and leave a comment below. We'd love to hear from you.
Just a quick update. According to Kawasaki, the air filters are reusable. And thanks to Steve for bringing this to my attention. Thanks, Steve. And then there's this rubber piece. This broke the budget. I mean, this costs more than this. How insane is that? Not even solid. It's a hollow piece of rubber. And now it's time to install this marvel of engineering. Must admit, it looks good. What would take a seasoned mechanic an hour to accomplish, I breezed through it in just 2 minutes. Yeah. Next up, rear wheel bearings and seals. With the right tools, like these retaining ring pliers, the job is a breeze. but tools can wear out over time and may not perform as expected. Switching to needle nose pliers. Come on, you gotta be freaking kidding me. Forget it. And sometimes you have to get creative and dip into the bag of tricks, like using a zip tie to install retaining rings. And let's not forget these rubber things. You know, if I was paid by commission, I'd be broke. And if the dealership paid me by the hour, they'd be bankrupt. Yep. In racing, we would strip parts off the bike to make them lighter. And today, I'm keeping the tradition alive. Joking aside, I pushed the bike out to give the swing arm a proper cleaning, and I had some unexpected help. Let me introduce you to the original owner of the ZX12R. He reached out curious to see the progress, and without hesitation, he rolled up his sleeves and jumped right in. I don't plan on taking the rear wheel off anytime soon, so now it's time to torque the rear end. Axle bolt. But before I do that, I have to adjust the chain. Kawasaki recommends approximately 32 millimeters or 1¼ inch chain slack. Kawasaki recommends approximately 32 millimeters or 1¼ inch chain slack. But what happens if you don't have a tape measure? Well, here's a simple trick that I use on most of the road bikes. So what I do is I grab the lower part of the chain and start pulling it towards the swing arm. When the upper part of the chain is almost perfectly flat or it doesn't move anymore, chain slack is properly adjusted. I've been using this method for 30 years and it's never failed. Before we go any further, check the rear wheel alignment. I hate it when people use the phrase, "Here's a pro tip." And with me, it's just a grumpy old man suggestion. And here it is. When tightening bolts or nuts, always push down. Never lift up. The reason being is lifting a bike unevenly on a rear stand increases the risk of it falling. While high-quality stands are more reliable, using affordable ones can feel like playing Russian roulette. It's not rocket science. It's just common sense. This axle nut needs to be torqued down to 80 foot-pounds of torque or 900 and I think it's like 930. Okay, we have 80 foot-pounds of torque. Now, I just need to align the castle nut with the opening for the cotter pin. There we go. She's spinning freely. And again, check the rear wheel alignment. And finally, I can install the new rear brake lines.
Hey there, awesome people. If you love this video, or even if you didn't, give it a thumbs up so we know you're still with us. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button so we can spam your inbox with more amazing content. Oh, and leave a comment below. We'd love to hear from you.
I can't always expect everything to work out as planned. Issues are always expected, and here I spotted two. The brake line is too close to the hose, and the hose clamp is too close to the brake line. Easy fix. Okay. All right, let's add some fluid. This can't be, really.
It's right there. Oh yeah, I can see it. I can see it.
You gotta be kidding me. To access the rear brake reservoir, you have to remove the front seat, the aerodynamic cover, and lift the gas tank. I mean, ship engineers should not be designing motorcycles. Bolt gone, fuses moved, hopefully correctly. Fuel tank, up we go, and there it is, the brake reservoir. Honestly, you'd think they make it easier. Time to add some brake fluid and bleed the brakes. We have a good, firm rear brake. It's always a good sign. Bleeding the rear brake calipers is easy, at least according to my video. Now, it only took me 30 seconds to get the job done, but I know it's going to take you a lot longer. It's my YouTube channel, and let's just leave it at that. Moving along, now that the rear brake system has been bled and we have firm rear brake pedal, it's time to align the rear brake pads. And it's very easy. Make sure that the caliper is loose, apply rear brake pressure, and then make sure the ratchet is correctly set. Tighten one bolt, tighten the other bolt, go back to the first bolt, torque it, go back to the second bolt, torque it. And that's how easy it is to align the rear brake pads. And if I can do it, anyone can. Let's talk about the rear brake reservoir. Generally speaking, brake reservoirs never need topping up. And if they do, there's two reasons. One, you have a leak, which is not a good thing. Two, it's a sign that your brake pads are worn out, which also is not a sign of a good thing. But if you're a ZX12R rider, you need to be a human pretzel just to have a look at the fluid level. And at my age, good luck with that. So, what can be done? Well, it's too late to complain to Kawasaki. Come to think of it, it would have been pointless even back in 2000. Therefore, we need to get creative. One viewer suggested relocating the brake reservoir to a more accessible spot, as they've done on their bike. You could also try the budget racer's trick. Replace the reservoir with a simple tube. But me, well, I'm stubborn, so I'm leaving it right where Kawasaki engineers designed it to be. I mean, there has to be some logic to this setup, right? And with that, I'm calling it the end of this video. Thank you for watching, and of course, thank you for staying to the very end. And remember, always hug your pets. Until next time, take care. Well,